Okay, this is part two. Oh, well, I guess I have to grab some paint. While I have you waiting here, I'll go ahead and tell you what kind of paint we're using today. It's Sherwin-Williams Property Solutions. This is a very cheap paint that you can get from your local Sherwin-Williams that will actually really hold up well in it's a flat, it's the cheapest paint you can possibly buy. So if you're going to be doing a rental or a flip or anything where you're not going to be personally staying in it and you're not going to be the one washing the walls, you should probably just go ahead and use a cheap paint. That's my opinion. But anyway, you know, you can use a washable, scrubbable. They give a pretty good price on duration. It's compared to Emerald, it's a little bit cheaper, but it still does the same job. Duration is a really good paint. But notice that I'm just taking my time. It really is about patience, but putting the line in there. But it's very hard to find a paint that would cover in one coat. It's not one of these really expensive paints. Most of them are like water, but this is like a molasses. Like, it really sucks to your brush. And as long as you don't go very far, and you really load it up and put enough paint on there. I mean, right now I'm just slapping it to the side, and I'm just loading up the entire wall as I go. I mean, it's just all dripping down here. And then this is how you really learn the art of smoothing paint, is once you start to do it and you can play with it a little bit when it's still really wet because you put it all in there at once and you did it really fast, it doesn't pull it and you can make it to where it still covers. But if you do it slowly, you let it dry for any length of time, that's when you call it back stroking or whatever. But I do that all the time. I just put so much paint on it, it's ridiculous. I get up there about, if I'm brushing, about 2 gallons a day. I sprayed this house and put 25 gallons on in 6 hours. Oops, got a little bit of drip. Okay, and now obviously I just did this to demonstrate how to brush one coat thick with a property grade, not a property grade, well, it's a Property Solutions paint by Sherwin-Williams. But what I'm saying is something that's a property of yours where you're not going to live in. Probably don't have to put on no $15 or $20 a gallon paint. Go with something under $10. It's not your house. I mean, it still looks great. I mean, when I get done with this thing, I'll probably maybe put 2 coats on it in some places, but for most part, 1 coat is going to look fabulous. And that is how you paint. Is saving your time, because you really need to be patient, but at the same time, that's why you have to be faster, is because I don't know, I'm just rambling now. I do this all day, folks. This is the life of a painter. I gotta bust out the radio instead of making videos. And you see, since this is, I'm sorry, I shouldn't name names, but it's owned by a bank lender, I believe. So I went even faster than you would probably want to go on your property. You might want to come back and put 2 coats on it even after it dries, but I mean, it really covers well, and I like this paint. I don't have any complaints about it. Some people have. I think those people are trying to just put 1 coat on, and it's very hard to with this. You really have to know you can't go too far. Like, that's the main thing. Is you can't go too far. You have to put enough paint on there, or you're making streaks. You can see through it. And I went through this whole house and I sprayed everything with a spray machine first. And I didn't really prep off at all. I just used a 211 tip through the entire house. And when I go to it, all I start doing is just taking off doors, taking off switch covers, and taking off hinges and striker plates and all that. Set it to the side, carpet's getting replaced. You just spray everything with a spray gun. If you want to learn how to paint, it's really a matter of just using the right tools. Is a Nova 390 spray rig and a Purdy Swan latex brush that has the copper inlay. Is the latex brush. I wish I'll just have to do a close up on the line here in a second. But I believe that this is definitely a high quality paint job. I mean, when this dries, it'll look great. But it only cost them for this room, including materials, $1.50 a square foot. So if you'd like your house painted, call Arthur at 615-973-7012. The company's name is Royal Renovations, and we do painting like a pro. If you would like, I can put 2 thinner coats that will be even flatter and have a little slightly less texture appeal, more flat. And I know how to put on the expensive paint too. It's just a matter of what the owner wants. If you want a contractor grade